Advocate newspaper. How this shopping complex could get parents back into the workforce. Gotta get them taxes, gotta keep them people at work. Parents have been calling out for more childcare places and the shopping complex developer is clearly listening. Oh, he's clearly listening alright. Like a fucking weasel. Bet you it's Vanderwood. Oh, bet you $100. Well, it's at Stony Rise, it might not be. He owns Vanderwood, he owns Four Ways. If you want to know who Vanderwood is, John Vanderwood is Devonport's Steve Cons, who created the shopping complex union, which has to be paid. It's like a protection racket, a mafia protection racket. Everyone pays into this little union thing for the right to rent one of the stores off of him. That apparently goes into legal battles and so forth. It's a racket. It's a racket. Because legal battles are paid for by insurance. I've owned a business. I used to have a subscription to the Advocate. I can't comment on it. It used to let me comment on their stuff, but it won't now. It's they want me to pay $19 a month to get triggered by all their bullshit. It's bullshit. It's not worth spending money for. But the heading's enough. Just what this country needs. More unwanted children raised by unwanted adults for the state instead of being nurtured in a home by a loving mother. And no, this isn't about being barefoot and pregnant. Make a choice. You either want to be a mother or you want a career. Am I a misogynist? No. Am I a chauvinist? No. I'm a realist. This whole self-destructive system is already turning around to bite the hand that has unwittingly fed it, the entire Western tax slave society. Pause. And people think that more policing, tougher police rules, and violence is the answer. Get a grip. First, we had the women's lib movement. Women were duped into believing they were a less than equation in a patriarchic family of hierarchical structure. They were duped. The women's lib movement. You know, the hairy armpit brigade, bra burning, blue-haired Karens from way back when. And they used what was her name? Rivet Rosie, the woman with the biceps and the rag tied round her head, is the mascot. Rivet Rosie. Rosie the Riveter. It gave birth to police officers like Penny the Pig. First we had the women's lib movement. Women were duped into believing they were a less than equation in a patriarchic family of hierarchical structure. They thought it was about equal rights to vote, when it was really about taxes and hijacking the minds of 3 generations to become the meat drone phone junkies we see everywhere today. By the way, this is the throw around toy. So the one that lives in the filing cabinet pulled apart at the other end of the house, it doesn't get thrown. It don't work. You see it? You go to the doctor's surgery. They stand there at the traffic lights. They're at the checkout at the store. They're in their cars. Oh. They're everywhere. They're at the dinner table. You see them out at tea. Couples out at tea staring at their phones. Why did you even go out to tea? May as well stay at home and got pizza and ignored each other. You see them there Mum, Dad, Mum. No, what? It started with voting. Great. Now the children get to sit at a dinner table watching their mother and father have political arguments. The throw toy. They just got over the trauma of Protestant wife spanking. Oh yeah, that was a thing. This was the exact reaction that was needed to get that old chestnut, I make the money and pay the bills, get a job and you might see things differently argument out. And the father gets up, storms out, fuming, and goes and has a beer with his mates at the pub. The family's already starting to fall apart. Bam! The problem reaction solution psyop has made its way into the family unit. Who'd have thunk? Mothers went to work and kids came home from the already hijacked education system to an empty home. And the devil's playground was born. The devil will take hold of your children's hands if you're not there to guide them. Mischief ensued, and voila, the need for either mothers to quit them jobs or do their part at home, or send them to someone else to look after. Now it's a bit difficult in the JP Morgan world of debt-based economics, creating inflation and debt-based fiat currency, causing the cost of living to go up in a home that is now dedicated to a certain economic level. How do you maintain that level of lifestyle? How do you maintain them bills when you've just completely restructured your family budget to be dedicated to two incomes? How do you do it? You can't. A few more seemingly insignificant things took hold, like letting lawyers get involved in family financial affairs, creating a flood of divorces and taking fathers out of the family unit. So now families aren't even dedicated from the get-go. The advent of prenuptial agreements. If you want a prenuptial agreement before you get married, you're not dedicated to the marriage, you shouldn't be getting married in the first place. Prenuptial agreements are for people that are already looking for the back door, the way out. It's the plan B. Why aren't you prepared to do everything you can to make plan A work? People suffer when you go to plan B. The kids. But then came the poison shot. It's like an atom bomb to Western society, especially here in Australia. And they're looking to do it in America. They're looking to do it in America, for crying out loud. The baby bonus. America, don't do it. Don't do it. Even if they offer it, don't take advantage of it. Unwanted kids having unwanted kids. State-sponsored child trafficking filled child detention centres. We had kids dropping out of school, pregnant, to have kids. So now you've got two generations within a single generation's time span. The two generations born closest together than has ever happened. Literally, teenagers having kids. What did it do? It was the lowest socio-economic demographic of our society that took advantage of this. People were having kids for the bonuses. Don't say it didn't happen, because it did. That was the idea of the bonus. We'll give you money to have kids. They were paying us to have kids. And kids were having kids. And And that was about the same time that the whole drug market exploded. Wouldn't you say? The government created this. The government created the drug market that we have today. The government created all these unwanted kids coming home to nobody. The government created detached, unresponsive, non-present mums and dads. The government created, and lawyers created fatherless homes. Now boys growing up to become men, thinking it's all right to treat women like dirt. Women promiscuous, thinking they deserve respect that they don't deserve, thinking they deserve rights that they haven't earned. No, men and women are not equal. How can they be? How can they be? There's a reason why men are not comfortable with having women on the battlefield. There's a reason why when females are responding to something as police officers, they won't get out of the car until the men arrive. There's a reason for that. It's because we're not equal. There's a reason why women have breasts and breastfeed and they nurture and grow the baby inside themselves and give birth to the baby. Because men just don't have the mindset. We're not built the same. We're not built the same. How can we be equal? Doesn't mean we don't have equally important jobs to do. We've just forgotten what those jobs are. Like, and I'll tell you now, it's got nothing to do with taxes. See, we go into a digital currency, it's only going to be a different form of exchange. It's not going to be, it's going to be worse. Because now every little thing you do is going to be taxed. Everything, every purchase you make online, and all purchases are going to be online, is going to be taxed. But no one's going to be working because AI is going to do everything for us. So what's the currency going to be based on? What value is anybody going to be adding to anything? So while we're building the machine that has created all this problem and continue to create all these problems for us, we're labouring and taxing. For the sake of taxes, we're labouring and toiling and taxing and earning our way into extinction, into non-relevance. You see, there's this little game being played, and this is why I'm trying to start this hashtag walk away movement and create our own councils, our own communities, our own church. Because that's what they're doing to us. They are, well, not even are, like, it's not even a has-been now, they're near done, it's near finished. We're just putting the finishing touches. You think it's the hardware, it's the software. The cameras aren't the hardware, it's the biological software. All the surveillance shit that we're putting in. Let's look at it this way. We've been programmed into thinking that we are like adding value to our communities when all we're doing is robbing from it. We're taking value away from us and handing all of our authority, all of our rights, all of our freedoms, all of our ability to create over to AI. Which is a tool for nothing good for us. It's technology for technology's sake. When we're all sitting around on a universal basic income of a pittance, it's just enough to survive, owning nothing, do you really think you're going to be happy? You're going to be bored. You're going to be bored shitless. Taking your stupid pills, drinking your idiot drink. Sucking them energy drinks down and doing nothing and you're always tired. How's that an energy drink, dickhead? It's an energy drink. It robs you of your energy. It takes from you. It doesn't give you nothing. So you go and pay what, $5, $6 for a drink that makes you feel tired. That was the whole point of this. That was the whole point of the women's liberation movement. To bring us to where we are now. Politicians are narrow, short-minded idiots. They're useful idiots. That's all they are. They're idiots. They're idiots educated in a certain way that makes them think that they're superior. Because they get to implement all the rules, regulations, and policies. You know, they think they're superior. They think they're smart, and right? Why? Because they're whacking it over everyone. Hey, politicians, the only reason you're whacking it over everyone is not because you're smarter. It's because they're dumber. It's dumb and dumber. All the people that you're implementing all this policy for, the lobbyists, the banksters, the JP Morgans of this world, the Larry Finkses. Donald Trump's not intelligent. He's a sneaky, sly prick. He's a real estate fucking con. And a TV celebrity. The perfect man for the job. The perfect useful idiot. Politicians aren't stupid, but they're not fucking smart either. Because they think they're gonna be part of the big boys club at some point. Nah. Only a select few. The ones that do bad and then run back and ask for more bad things to do. They're the ones that get looked after. Like the Dan Andrewses. The Jacinta Aherns, Jacinta Allenses, that donkey thing from New Zealand. Oh. That woman, what was her name? What was her name? The former New South Wales Premier that looks like the dude in the wheelchair off Saw. Who I'm sure is Klaus Schwab's daughter. Nah. You're going to fall for it, no? Why? Because you've got mortgages to pay for. You've got bills to pay. You've got jet skis you want to buy. You've got that holiday booked for 5 years' time that you're probably not going to get to go on. You've got all these toys in the shed that you're never going to use. But hey, I'm keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses don't give a shit what you have, mate. They couldn't care less. That's the whole concept of keeping up with the Joneses came from. Who are the Joneses? You're buying that old chestnut. Selling my life to work at a job, to pay for things that I can't afford, to impress people I don't like with money I don't have, just to keep going to force myself to have to keep going to that job to do the same shit. Working a job I don't like, to buy things I don't want, to impress people I don't like. It's a pretty empty life, isn't it? He who dies with the most toys still ends up with nothing. Don't know. Men and women aren't equal. Women shouldn't be working unless they don't have kids. Why? They have an extremely important job to do. If you're going to have kids, that's an extremely important job. That's not just a responsibility. You should be honoured to be gifted that job. You should be honoured that, women, you should be honoured that that is your job. And that the blokes are the ones that aren't very bright but can lift heavy things and understand economics. You know, we do the numbers stuff. You do the loving stuff. You just... No, we're not equal. But men don't know how to be men anymore. Women don't know how to be women. They're not even men and women. They're just meat drones. They're a waste of space. So yeah, I guess we are useless eaters. It started with the women's liberation movement. See, men would never have been tricked into that. It was just women that got your hormones all up in a bunch. Our logical mind and testosterone overrode that the whole time. We was like, what the fuck is wrong with these women? They're gone crazy. It just took the right triggers and the right women to lead it. Oh, Carol down the road, Karen down the road. Karen down the road was probably being paid to do it. Karen down the road is probably a miserable old cow. That's why she's doing it. She chose a bad man in a bad relationship. She's barren, can't have kids. These are the women that led the women's liberation. The women that were angry because their husbands never came home from war. They were angry at everything. And men went off to fight wars created by men. So can you blame them for being angry? Walk away, people. Walk away. Stop this. Stop it. It's destroying you. It's destroying your kids. It's destroying the entire Western civilization. We don't come out of this any good. We don't win. I'm telling you. We don't win. If we keep up with this shit, don't listen to them fuckwit talking heads like Guru the Gronk and Bozy the fucking bozo. Ricardi Bozo. Yeah, I'm quite sure that's not an original, but it rolls off the tongue well. We don't win this if we keep this up. All of this has already been pre-planned. I mean, a system, the people that run the governments from foreign territories that we can't get to. I mean, let's be honest. If we can't even get the council to engage in a conversation about the problem that they've created over rubbish by privatising the public purse garbage collection, which now only collects once a fortnight, instead once a week in areas like Shorewell, where I would wager at least 45% of the people living here either don't have a card, don't have a licence, and they don't have the logistical ability to deal with their rubbish, and they don't have the financial ability to get somebody else to do it. Council doesn't want to engage in that conversation, but they did it. They created this mess. We didn't. They created it and don't even want to have a conversation about it. They wouldn't even let me mention it. That's why I walked out of the council meeting. I was there for 10 minutes and left again. They rushed through the questions, saying, quick, Dave's not here. As soon as I walked in, the lady I sat next to, she said, they're not letting us ask questions tonight. Ha! I was told I was allowed a question. She didn't even say I was called up. She said, I don't know if I was or not, I'll go and check after. They don't want to have the conversation about the problems that they created. If they can't even have that simple conversation to at least say, look, we'll see what we can do to rectify this problem because people are burning rubbish in their backyards at night time near a rural area, near where there's natural bush. How many feral cats and how much vermin is that going to end up with? I come home the other day, it was the middle of the day, I had bandicoots running around in my front yard. In the middle of the day. The problem's already started. They're scavenging for food, they're smelling it. The smells are attracting them. So if we can't even get them to have that conversation, how do you expect you're ever going to vote your way out of it? They won't even engage with the public. They ask the public to turn up to meetings and they all sit there like fucking meat drones and say nothing. The ones that do are their mates that get up and thank them for their job well done on something that's completely fucking meaningless. Oh, and by the way, apparently something's making the water toxic. Don't go swimming around here. We're back to Bernie can't go swimming. They've been doing microbial tests of the water. There's something in the water. It was Ken Dorsey brought it up last night. But all he's worried about is just getting that mortgage paid that you're never going to pay. You're never going to get it paid. People paying for mortgages in places where they aren't going to exist in 5-10 years' time. And they're only going to get back the Governor General evaluation. Yeah, there's such a thing as the Governor General evaluation. You get the price of the land, not what's on it. They don't pay you for the house. They only pay you for the land. So every cent that went into buying that house is gone. Because they don't want the house, they want the land. Why would they buy the house? That's why I didn't buy the place I was going to buy in Wivenhoe 10 years ago. Because the real estate agent told me that it's getting turned into a military complex. So he said I wouldn't buy it if I were you unless you plan to flip it within 5 years. 5 to 10 years. That, it's 10 years now, and it's, look at what's happening in Wivenhoe. The showgrounds are gone. It's just used, I think they still use it for the trots now and then. And they're building tanks, and there's always been an army barracks there, like a cadets army barracks for the cut lunch cowboys. That's the nickname for the Army Reserves, by the way. That's an old one. The cut lunch cowboys were in town. That's what the real army used to call the reserves. The ones that got to go back home. They come to do their bits of logistics and things and then go back home again. Isn't that right, Ricardo? SAS, the former SAS Lieutenant Colonel in the reserves. Rock up to wherever the Americans are, plug in and play. Your words, Rick, not mine. That's me morning rant. Got that off my chest. Thank God. Oh, it was fast. As soon as I turned my computer on, I went to do a couple of things and there's the email and I had to click on it, didn't I? And I'm like, no! I'm still yet to write me letter to the editor that they won't print about how pathetic. I was near going to make this my letter, but you only get 250 words. 250 letters. They make sure you can't really get said what you want said. So, and you try to say too much, and it makes you look like an idiot. That's why it's structured that way. Imagine what you get off your chest, and imagine what you could actually say if you had 1,000 words. They say a picture tells 1,000 words, but 1,000 words paints a very big picture.